I bet you didn't know that China's influence in global conflicts is reshaping the world order. Streamline News explores how the conflict in Ukraine has become a crucible for great power competition, a geopolitical chessboard where the stakes are high and the players are engaged in a delicate and dangerous game. The world watches as the balance of power shifts, with each move calculated to gain an advantage. The reverberations of this conflict are felt far beyond the borders of Ukraine, influencing global alliances and economic strategies. While the West has rallied behind Ukraine, providing military aid and imposing sanctions on Russia, the unity of Western nations has been tested. The economic repercussions of these sanctions have rippled through global markets, affecting everything from energy prices to supply chains. Western leaders have had to navigate a complex web of domestic and international pressures, striving to maintain a united front against Russian aggression. China has adopted a more nuanced approach, one that is shrouded in ambiguity and driven by its own strategic calculus. Beijing's stance has been characterized by a careful balancing act, seeking to maintain its economic ties with the West while also positioning itself as a potential mediator in the conflict. This dual approach allows China to expand its influence without directly antagonizing either side. China's involvement in the occupied regions of Ukraine, particularly in the war-torn Donbass region, has raised eyebrows and stoked concerns. Chinese officials have been seen visiting these conflict zones, ostensibly to assess the situation and explore opportunities for reconstruction. However, their presence has also been interpreted as a signal of China's growing interest in the region's strategic and economic potential. Chinese companies have quietly established a presence in Luhansk and Donetsk, engaging in economic activities that raise questions about their true intentions. These companies are involved in a range of industries, from mining to infrastructure development, suggesting a long-term commitment to the region. The economic footprint of these enterprises is growing, and with it, China's influence over the local economy and political landscape. This essay will delve into the murky waters of China's involvement in Ukraine, examining the economic and geopolitical implications of its actions. We will explore how China's strategic investments and diplomatic maneuvers are reshaping the region, and what this means for the future of global power dynamics. The interplay between economic interests and geopolitical ambitions will be a key focus, shedding light on the broader implications of China's actions. This is not simply a tale of two adversaries locked in a bitter conflict. It is a complex narrative involving multiple actors, each with their own agendas and strategies. The negotiations and power plays that occur behind the scenes are as crucial as the battles fought on the ground. Understanding these dynamics is essential to grasping the full scope of the conflict and its potential resolutions. It is a story of opportunity, ambition, and the pursuit of power on a global scale. The conflict in Ukraine has become a focal point for broader geopolitical struggles, with nations vying for influence and control. Ambitious infrastructure projects and economic initiatives are part of this larger strategy, as countries seek to expand their reach and secure their interests in a rapidly changing world. China, with its burgeoning economic might and global aspirations, sees in the chaos of Ukraine an opportunity to advance its interests and reshape the international order to its liking. By leveraging its economic power and diplomatic influence, China aims to position itself as a key player in the resolution of the conflict, while also securing its own strategic objectives. The unfolding events in Ukraine are thus a microcosm of the larger shifts occurring in the global balance of power. The Donbass region, once the industrial heartland of Ukraine, has been ravaged by war since 2014. The conflict has left a trail of destruction, with factories and infrastructure lying in ruins, and the local economy in tatters. The once thriving cities now resemble ghost towns, with their industrial might reduced to rubble. Amidst the rubble and despair, Chinese companies have sensed an opportunity, drawn by the region's vast, untapped resources and the prospect of capitalizing on the chaos. These companies, with their vast financial resources and state backing, see the potential to rebuild and exploit the region's wealth. They are not deterred by the ongoing conflict. Instead, they are motivated by the promise of high returns on their investments. These companies, often with close ties to the Chinese government, have wasted no time in establishing a foothold in Luhansk and Donetsk. They have set up offices, brought in heavy machinery, and started various projects aimed at extracting and processing the region's resources. The presence of Chinese flags and government representatives in these areas underscores the strategic importance of their activities. Reports suggest that Chinese companies have been involved in a range of activities, from construction and infrastructure projects to mining and resource extraction. They are building roads, bridges, and other critical infrastructure which not only facilitates their operations, but also helps to win over the local population by providing much-needed development. Joint ventures have been formed with local entities, providing a veneer of legitimacy to China's presence. These partnerships are often presented as mutually beneficial, promising economic revival for the war-torn region, while ensuring a steady supply of resources for China's ever-growing industrial needs. The true extent of China's economic involvement remains shrouded in secrecy, but the available evidence suggests a concerted effort to gain access to the region's riches. Many of these operations are conducted discreetly, away from the prying eyes of international observers, raising concerns about the transparency and ethical implications of their activities. The Donbass is home to significant deposits of coal, natural gas, and rare earth minerals, resources that are highly coveted by China's industrial machine. These minerals are essential for the production of high-tech devices, renewable energy technologies, and various other industrial applications, making them a strategic priority for China. By establishing a presence in the occupied territories, China is positioning itself to exploit these resources, potentially at bargain prices, and further cement its dominance in key industries. This strategic move not only secures a steady supply of critical materials, but also strengthens China's geopolitical influence in the region, raising questions about the long-term implications for Ukraine and the broader international community. Russia's economy, heavily reliant on energy exports, has faced significant challenges in recent years. The country's vast reserves of oil and natural gas have long been the backbone of its economic strength, providing substantial revenue and geopolitical leverage. However, this reliance on energy exports has also made Russia vulnerable to fluctuations in global energy prices and shifts in international demand, and hampered by Western sanctions, which have targeted key sectors of the Russian economy, including finance, defense, and energy. These sanctions have been imposed in response to various geopolitical actions by Russia, most notably its annexation of Crimea in 2014, and its ongoing involvement in the conflict in Ukraine. Has struggled to sustain its war effort in Ukraine. The conflict has drained resources and strained the country's military and economic capabilities. The combination of sanctions and the costs associated with the war has put immense pressure on the Russian government to find alternative sources of support and revenue. China, with its vast manufacturing capacity and insatiable appetite for raw materials, has stepped in to fill the void. China's industrial prowess is unmatched, with factories that can produce a wide range of goods at an unprecedented scale. This has made China an indispensable partner for countries looking to bolster their manufacturing capabilities, has emerged as a lifeline for the Kremlin, providing a much-needed source of goods, technology, and financial support. The trade relationship between China and Russia has deepened, with both countries benefiting from the exchange of resources and expertise. Chinese investments in Russian infrastructure and technology have helped to modernize key sectors of the Russian economy, while Russia's manufacturing sector is largely geared towards its defense industry, producing military equipment and technology to support its armed forces. It lacks the breadth and sophistication to meet the needs of a modern economy. The focus on defense has left other sectors underdeveloped and in need of significant investment and innovation. It lacks the breadth and sophistication to meet the needs of a modern economy. Many of Russia's industrial facilities are outdated, with machinery that is no longer competitive on the global stage. This has created a gap that China is well positioned to fill, with its advanced manufacturing technologies and efficient production processes. China, on the other hand, has become the world's factory, capable of producing everything from consumer electronics to heavy machinery. The scale and efficiency of Chinese manufacturing are unparalleled, allowing for the mass production of goods at a lower cost and higher quality than many other countries can achieve, capable of producing everything from consumer electronics to heavy machinery. This versatility has made China a crucial player in the global supply chain, providing essential components and finished products to markets around the world. The ability to quickly scale up production in response to demand has further solidified China's position as a manufacturing powerhouse. This complementarity has created a mutually beneficial relationship, with China filling the gaps in Russia's manufacturing capabilities. The partnership has allowed Russia to access the goods and technologies it needs to sustain its economy, while China has gained a reliable market for its products and a strategic ally in the region. With China filling the gaps in Russia's manufacturing capabilities, the flow of goods between the two countries has increased significantly, with Chinese products becoming a common sight in Russian markets. This trade has helped to stabilize the Russian economy and provided a buffer against the impact of Western sanctions. The flow of Chinese goods into Russia has helped to mitigate the impact of Western sanctions, providing the Kremlin with a degree of economic resilience. The availability of Chinese goods has ensured that Russian consumers continue to have access to a wide range of products, from everyday necessities to advanced technologies, providing the Kremlin with a degree of economic resilience. The influx of Chinese goods has not only supported the Russian economy, but also helped to maintain social stability by ensuring that the population has access to essential goods and services. From dual-use technologies that can be repurposed for military purposes, such as advanced electronics and machinery, to consumer goods that help to maintain a semblance of normalcy in everyday life. China's manufacturing might has become an indispensable asset for Russia. The ability to source critical technologies and components from China has been particularly important for the Russian defense industry. To consumer goods that help to maintain a semblance of normalcy, the partnership between China and Russia has had far-reaching implications. It has not only bolstered Russia's economic resilience, but also strengthened the strategic ties between the two nations, creating a powerful alliance in the face of Western opposition. China's manufacturing might has become an indispensable asset for Russia. As the global landscape continues to evolve, the partnership between China and Russia is likely to grow even stronger, with both countries leveraging their respective strengths to navigate the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. China's economic involvement in the occupied regions of Ukraine has profound geopolitical implications. By engaging with the Russian-backed separatists and investing in the occupied territories, China is implicitly legitimizing Russia's actions and undermining Ukraine's sovereignty. China's actions send a dangerous message to the international community, signaling that it is willing to prioritize its own interests over the principles of international law and territorial integrity. This undermines the rules-based order that has governed international relations for decades and emboldens other revisionist powers. Moreover, China's presence in Ukraine gives it a strategic foothold in Eastern Europe, a region of historical importance and geopolitical significance. This allows China to project its power and influence further afield, challenging the traditional dominance of the United States and its allies. Don't miss this deep dive into the untold side of the Ukraine war. Subscribe to Streamline News for real-time updates on global conflicts, political power shifts, and exclusive geopolitical analysis. What do you think about China's role in Ukraine? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.